Think about it. A 20-year-old young man, winning countless battles in just 10 years, and conquering half the world without ever being defeated. Now, we are about to witness the courage, the power, and the legendary story of such a leader. The great story of Alexander the Great. 356 BC, Pella, a son was born to King Philip II and Olympias. From that day on, throughout his youth, his mother kept telling him that he was destined for greatness until one day he proved it. One day, he noticed a horse no one could control, Bucephalus. He realized something instantly. The horse was afraid of its own shadow, so he turned it toward the sun and calmed it. That day, his father leaned toward him and said, "Macedonia is too small for you. Go, build yourself a greater empire." Alexander grew up as a student of Aristotle. There, he studied medicine, science, philosophy, and geography. During this time, his desire to explore and conquer the world was shaped. Then, his father, Philip II, died. Alexander was only 20 years old the moment he took the throne. Greek city-states revolted. Rebellions erupted. His response was ruthless. He destroyed the city of Thebes and sent a clear message: anyone who stands against me will be destroyed. With that, he crushed all rebellions and secured internal peace. Now, it was time for new conquests. His greatest goal was to destroy the Persian Empire, and before him stood one of the most powerful rulers in history, Darius III of Persia. To open the gates of Anatolia, he had to win the battle at Granicus. 334 BC. The battle took place near today's Biga River. In Anatolia, Alexander crossed the river and launched a direct attack. Despite the risk, he won. The cities of western Anatolia, especially Sardes, fell under his control, and with that, the gates of Asia Minor were opened. But for Alexander, this was only the beginning. Next, the Battle of Issus, 333 BC, a turning point in history. Around 40,000 Macedonian soldiers, disciplined, trained, fast, against nearly 100,000 Persian troops, but poorly coordinated. The first move came from Darius. He tried to outmaneuver Alexander, to trap him from behind, but the narrow battlefield worked against him. The Persians couldn't use their full strength. Alexander responded instantly. With a sudden cavalry charge from the right flank, he drove straight toward Darius. Darius panicked and fled the battlefield. Persian army collapsed. Alexander had won a decisive victory. Darius had been defeated. Directly, the fall of the Persian Empire had begun. Alexander was no longer just a commander. He was on the path to becoming a conqueror of the world. Then came the siege of Tyre, a siege that would last 7 months, a city in the middle of the sea, seemingly unreachable. But for Alexander, nothing was impossible. He built a path across the sea and took the city once again. He succeeded. After Issus, he marched south into Egypt. The people, who had suffered under Persian rule for years, welcomed him as a liberator. The Persian satrap Mazaches surrendered without a fight. Why? Alexander's undefeated reputation the people's hatred of Persia, and the futility of resistance, the Egyptians saw him as a savior. They crowned him Pharaoh, not just a conqueror anymore, but a divine ruler. Then, he traveled to the Siwa oasis. There, the priests of Amun declared him the son of a god. This moment changed how Alexander saw himself, from king to something more. And then, he founded Alexandria, a city of trade, a center of culture, one that would become one of the greatest cities in the world. Without a major battle, he had gained a vast land. Egypt became one of the richest parts of his empire, and Alexander no longer saw himself as just a king, but as a godlike ruler. Then came the greatest battle. 331 BC. Gaugamela, Alexander versus Darius I. The final clash, the battle that would destroy the Persian Empire forever. It took place near modern Mosul. On a wide, open plain, Darius had the land flattened to give advantage to his army. 40,000 infantry, 7,000 cavalry, disciplined, focused. Led by Alexander, at the front against over 100,000 Persians, chariots, cavalry, troops from many nations, led by Darius. At the center, Darius planned to surround him, to crush the Macedonian lines with side chariots, but the army collapsed, moved diagonally toward the flank, creating a gap, a critical moment. And when that gap appeared, he struck directly at Darius. The chariots failed. The phalanx held strong. Darius fled. Once again, the empire fell. Darius escaped, but was killed soon after. Alexander was declared king of Asia. Now he ruled Egypt, Anatolia, Persia, Mesopotamia, but he didn't stop. He marched all the way to India. There, he fought King Paris. Paris was defeated, but Alexander respected him. "Treat me like a king," Paris said, "and you shall be treated as one." Alexander replied, impressed. He restored him to his throne, but after years of war, his soldiers wanted no more. Alexander pushed them, but in the end, he turned back. On the return, they crossed the Jedrosian Desert, a journey that destroyed much of his army. 323 BC, Babylon. Alexander fell suddenly ill and died. At the age of 32, the cause of his death remains unknown. Before he died, they asked him, "Who will inherit the empire?" His answer, "To the strongest." After his death, his generals divided the empire, but Alexander was never defeated, built a vast empire, and united cultures in what became the Hellenistic Age. He became king at 20, conquered half the world in 10 years, and died at 32. But his name still lives on for more legendary stories like this. Subscribe to the channel.